It is almost the new year, and everyone is in search of different ways to multiply their means of income. One source of income that has gradually gained popularity is car flipping. In today's video, we are doing a detailed breakdown of everything you need to know about legally flipping cars and getting the best profit out of them. We have to start off by saying that as dependable as flipping cars can be, it also involves a lot of risks. But as with anything else, with great risk comes great rewards. It is, as they say, nothing good comes easy. If you would like to see more of our videos in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notification by hitting the bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. With that said, here are 5 steps you need to take to start flipping cars for profit. Step 1. Licensing. The very first step in your journey towards making profits from flipping cheap cars is gathering information within your local area. You should find out the local automotive codes that apply to the length of time a person is permitted to have an unregistered vehicle and when frequent sellers are required to get a dealer's license. States usually require prolific auto sellers to register as dealers and, in some instances, require a physical business location. The dealer license still requires maintenance after application, and sometimes this process can be time-consuming and burdensome, but it is necessary. You should also note that it can also become very expensive. By the time you add up the license fees, surety bond fees, and the different regulatory expenses, getting legal could run you over $2,500 in startup expenses. If you want to remain a casual flipper, you can avoid most of these expenses. But you have to find out, by state rules, where casual flipper stops and prolific dealer begins. Step 2. Finding undervalued cars. When you are sure how big you are willing to go with flipping cars, you then need to actually find the undervalued cars. For unlicensed dealers, your chances of getting the best value are higher at public auctions. While dealer auctions have fewer buyers to compete with and better deals, these are only open to licensed dealers. Either way, public auctions are very common and happen as frequently as weekly in some areas. So, it depends on how well you keep your eyes and ears open so you never miss any of the good ones. Both government and private companies host public auctions, with cars ranging from those seized by the government to others forfeited by the owners, and some abandoned in public rights-of-way. All of these can offer top-shelf quality for the little you plan to spend on purchasing the car. If you prefer sourcing deals online, then you can go for websites like Craigslist and eBay. Craigslist is one of the most popular places to find undervalued cars, with the site allowing sellers to post sales ads for free without collecting any cut from the selling price. There are thousands of sellers with great deals every day. The only caveat here is that if things go south on your purchase, Craigslist will not get involved. So you need to keep your knowledge up to date and be extra careful about scams. As for eBay, you get a more regulated market, and some might argue a better selection than Craigslist. However, it is a tighter market with more buying competition. Therefore, the lower-priced cars get sold out a lot faster. Furthermore, because of the hefty fee that comes with successful sales, you are unlikely to find one-off sellers on eBay. If public and online listings don't do the trick, you are left with newspaper listings that are still used by some of the older sellers, and, of course, the good old "for sale" sign in car windshields. We advise that you use as many of these as will be convenient for you. You never really know which will bring the heat. Step 3. Buying used cars. Finding cars is one thing, but buying these cars is a whole different story. The major objective for every flipper is to get their current flip sold as quickly as possible so they can start the next one. Most times, your environment will determine the kind of cars you can easily flip and make enough money to cover your expense and go into another. The most popularly flippable cars are low-mileage, efficient sedans, wagons, and compact SUVs from popular brands like Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and Honda. Some brands are known for durability, and the higher mileage can be tolerated by buyers. However, if you are in a more wealthy area, then you can consider using undervalued luxury cars and the rare versions of mass-market models. With models like these not being common, those with deep pockets are more willing to go deep in their pockets to pay for them. In summary, check what your potential buyer's preferences would look like, based on their budget, environment, and even up to geography and weather. Step 3.5. The Buying Checklist. This step is more like a continuation of the previous one. However, it also involves a lot of moving parts, so we decided to put it on a step of its own. With everything set so far, you are now ready to buy your first car to do the flip. Here are the things you must note before buying. First thing is to set your budget. As tempting as it might be to spend some massive money on a flip in view of making more profit, it is important that you keep your budget moderate at all times. Secondly, you need to gather the cash. While some public auctions will accept major credit cards, you still want to be sure you have enough cash. Also, if it's your first time, you should consider saving some extra cash, about half the buying budget, which will become useful in case you decide to go again for more profit. Finally, before heading to any of the buying options we mentioned earlier, find out the fair market value of the car you are looking forward to getting or cars in that category. The other things you would have to do when buying is checking what rules apply to the auction you are attending and inspecting all the important parts of the car to ensure it's in sellable condition. As a side note, if you are not an expert on mechanics, make sure you take a buy buddy with you that has more knowledge on the topic. Let them be the ones to help you check that the car is not a completely useless car that will either never work or just burn all your cash in repairs. Step 4. Repairs. The major work in this area is in diagnosing what problems the car has. If you do not have any experience with repairing cars, then have your buy buddy with the experience diagnose the car before sending it out to any mechanic. This way, you can be sure that you will be spending on only what the car actually needs. Your repair budget will be determined by the issues the car is facing, your personal target margin, the make and model of the car, and the standard repair costs in your area. A pro tip on the repair side is to avoid making repairs that do not really affect the resale. These just increase your potential sale price, downsize your number of potential buyers, and also drop the possible eventual payoff. Step 5. Selling. All the steps we've discussed so far in this video boil down to this one. The first step is to find out what the car is worth. You should first check at least 2 car pricing tools to find out the fair market value for private sales for your flip. Also, make sure you set your bottom dollar. What is the bottom dollar? Most inexperienced flippers tend to want to go so low in order to sell a car that they make zero profits. So, before you set out for selling the flip, have a bottom dollar that will be the limit for a bargain. In case you decide to sell at an auction, this price tag should be the starting point for your flip. Finally, selling and making the best profits means finding the right venues to list your car. As popular as Craigslist is, some buys can be frustratingly cheap. The solution here would be to enlist your flip on as many options as you can find. A good listing alone can sell the car before negotiations even start. So, add enough photo evidence and put in all the basic characteristics that matter to buyers. With your listings out, you can be sure to start getting calls anytime soon. Get the calls, negotiate your best option, do not conclude too quickly, and, of course, never go lower than your bottom dollar. You are now ready to flip a car. If you made it to the end of this video, you're definitely serious about making money. So, subscribe and turn on the bell notification, as on this channel, that's all we talk about, so you never want to miss an upload. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.